Well, hello, friends. Real quick before we kick off the episode, I have to let you know about something exciting. I am seriously considering having an upgraded version of this podcast where you get bonus episodes and exclusive content. But here's the deal, I'm trying to decide what that content and those episodes should be. I do have some ideas, and I was wondering if you could vote really quick and tell me what you think about what would entice you, what would be interesting to you to get as bonus episodes on this podcast. For example, deeper dives into topics. Maybe I'm answering questions that many of you ask about starting or growing a business. Maybe even overhearing coaching calls, something like this. It would be a paid, upgraded version of this podcast, not very expensive at all, probably just a handful of dollars a month, but it'd be extra content for you to help you along your journey. My whole goal is to help you build your business dream. And I would love to offer you even more because some of you are asking for it. So if you could just look down in the show notes right now, there's 2 ways you can give me your answers. Number 1, I have a Google form with 5 quick questions. It can be anonymous. You just answer them and vote on what would be interesting to you. Or number 2, I have a voice memo system. You can just click it and you could just leave a voice memo with your phone right now and just record it and tell me what kind of topics, what things would be interesting to you behind the scenes, market news. What would be things that would be extra that would be really valuable to you? So thank you all so much. Okay, on to the episode.
Well, hello, this is Kimberly Brock, and for over 20 years, I've been running my own businesses that have not only been profitable, but personally fulfilling to me. So now I'm on a mission to help other new business owners, just like you, make money doing what you love too. Now we're going to have some fun, so let's get started. Well, hello, this is Kimberly. It's episode 131, and I am so glad that you are here today because you are in for a special treat. Today, I have a very special guest on the show. Her name is Melissa Meyer. She is a copywriter, and she's going to be sharing tips to help you write for your new business. She's one of my grow-getters, and I just adore her, and I'm so excited she agreed to come on the show. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you found this podcast because I have no doubt that it's going to help you along your business journey. So make sure you hit the subscribe button or the follow, whatever it shows in your app, because you don't want to miss out on any future episodes. And if you're new, did you know that I have a free Facebook group for you? I do. And it's time that you get plugged in. So scroll down, click the link below, come join the group. You're going to have to answer a few questions, and don't be that person that doesn't answer the 3 questions, because here's what's happening. I've got over 200 people waiting to come in the group because they never answered the questions. So just make sure you read those and that you answer them, okay? And also, if you're new, I've got a 16-step checklist to help you as you're starting your business. It's so handy. People love it. And you can just sit there and mark off everything that you're doing to get your business started effectively. And then too, if you're in the business idea stage, I have a guide for you, a packet that you can print, okay? It's just a handful of pages, but it's going to help you map out your passions and skills and really figure out where that viable business option intersects with those things. So anyways, if you're new, check out all those things below. Get in my Facebook group. I'm so excited that you're here. If you are a loyal listener, if you've been listening a while, I want to thank you so much for being here. I have so many amazing listeners who write beautiful reviews. Thank you all so much, and for giving this podcast a 5-star rating. It just warms my heart that what I'm doing here when I can't see anyone or anything and I'm alone in a room is actually making a huge difference worldwide. So it's kind of hard to wrap your head around that, but I just appreciate it so, so much. And would you do me a big favor in return for all the valuable information that you get on this podcast every week? If someone asks in a Facebook group that you're in, or a friend, or they need help starting a business, would you tell them about this podcast? Would you post it in a Facebook group? I would be so honored if you would do that, because it just helps spread the word. And I know that it can help them too. So if you would do me that favor, it would be amazing. Just tell someone, whoever is starting a business, that have you listened to the She's Just Getting Started podcast, because you know too that it can help them. So thank you all so much. Okay, on to the episode. Well, I am so excited to bring Melissa on shortly. Real quick, I just wanted to share that Melissa is just a wonderful human being. She is a loving wife. She's got a husband. She has 2 children, a 5-year-old boy and an 8-year-old girl. She lives in Wisconsin, and she's living proof that you too can make money doing what you love and what you're good at. I'm so excited for you to hear her story. First, you get some copywriting tips, which is awesome. So many of you are new business owners that are listening and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't think about that. I'm going to have to be writing for my business, whether it be on a website or emails, right? You're going to have to be writing. So she shares some great tips for you. Then she also shares how she kickstarted her business and what she did. You're going to get to hear, and you're going to learn some great things that she did, that it doesn't have to be as complicated a process as you might think it is. So I think that's awesome to hear. So make sure you listen all the way through. Okay, that's it. On to the episode. Well, hello, Melissa. I am so glad that you're here, and we are finally doing this episode. We've been rescheduling and trying to work this out and had all kinds of technical issues, but we're here. Today is the day, and I'm so excited to share you with everyone. You are not only a talented copywriter, but you are an amazing human being, and I'm so honored to get to share you on the She's Just Getting Started podcast. So welcome.
Well, thank you. What an honor to be here. I love it. I'm so excited.
I know. Well, I'm so excited to have you. And what I thought would be fun today is we would have you share some tips for all the new owners listening, because y'all who are listening don't realize that when you start a business, you're going to have to be writing some stuff, okay? You're going to have to be writing, and Melissa's going to talk to you about that today and share 3 really good tips with you. And then we're going to hear a little bit about how she got into copywriting and then how she started her business. So you will learn from her on what she went through and what she first offered, because if you've got a service-based business, it's kind of hard in the beginning. Like, what do I start with? What do I offer? So you get to hear Melissa's story and how she did it. And so I'm just so glad that you're here. So welcome, Miss Melissa.
Thank you. Thank you. Honored to be here. This is definitely like a full circle moment, because I discovered you because we were in a Facebook group together and someone had asked a question about what podcast do you listen to? And there were just like tons of comments. So I'm just scrolling through, and you had posted, oh, I have this podcast. And it was pretty new. I don't know. You were maybe like 20 episodes in or so.
Oh my.
And I just liked like your graphic and like the look of you. So I listened to one and I was like, okay, she's my people. I like her.
That's so sweet. I didn't know this story. This is a good little story that you
what
just shared.
What you said made sense. And I just kind of gobbled it all up and listened. And I was struggling with reaching out to a client that I had written for. And I wasn't too far into my business. I was still pretty new. And I had written some copy and I didn't hear back. They paid me and I didn't hear back for months and months. And I thought, should I reach out to them again? And I was so afraid of that they would say like, thanks, but no thanks, which to me would be, we didn't like it. We didn't like what you wrote, because they didn't use what I wrote. So I was just wrestling with this for a few days. Like, should I, shouldn't I? And I was listening to your podcast as I was walking around my neighborhood. And I remember exactly where I was, the house I was in front of and the tree I was next to. And I just had this thought, what would Kimberly say? What advice would she give me on this? And I knew that you would say, go for it. Reach out. If they say no, then you just move on.
Right.
And so I did. And this client is been a client of mine now for well over a year and a half maybe, and has paid me more than any other client I have. So if I had not reached out, and I've learned some new services and skills from them. I've gotten into podcast writing because of them. I've gotten into editing because of them.
That's crazy.
So none of that would have happened if I hadn't listened to my inner Kimberly.
You crack me up. That is so sweet. Well, I love that. You know, when we all do things, whether we write a blog, podcast, YouTube channel, whatever it is, social media posts, we love to hear stories like this that people do take in and take to heart what we're sharing. So I love that. Thank you so much, Melissa. That means so much to me. Well, I'm so glad to have you on because, as I said, you are a talented copywriter. And I know my new business owners out there are just itching to learn some tips for how they can write better and what they can do as they approach beginning writing for their website or for email. And so I'm so excited to hear what you have to share with them.
So my first tip is about your About Me page. And when I say About Me page, I'm talking about like the information about you on your website. But if you have a business that you don't maybe have a website, like if you are a product seller and you sell on Etsy, I'm sure somewhere on Etsy, there's somewhere for your bio, or whether it's your Facebook page bio or whatever it is, whenever you're talking about yourself, it's about you, but it isn't about just you. Your words should also convey how you help your ideal client.
Okay.
So if you just have a list of like accomplishments or this is what I do, a lot of people might read that and be like, okay, so what? What does that mean for me? When you're writing an About Me page, think about what does the potential customer or client, they need to find out how I can help them. So explain
Right.
how you can help them. And a way to do that is to kind of write out their pain points, which is kind of a buzzword. The thing that I know you've talked about this before about people having hurdles and they don't even know they have the hurdles, the awareness, you just talked about this not that long ago, that they might not even know they have the problem yet, but you can point that out to them. Whether it's you have a pet and you want them to have healthy treats or keep the chemicals out of your home by using whatever natural based products and hey, I sell those. So, or whatever it is, or I can help your child get to sleep. If you have a child that's having a hard time getting to sleep, you know your problem, but
Right. Yeah. It's a big one too, because when they don't get sleep, neither do you.
right. So if you are like a sleep consultant, you need to share about like, how did you arrive at what you know, or how to get kids to sleep, and, share a personal experience on your About Me page, but also tell your customer how you're going to help them.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I think people think like if somebody's new and they're just starting their website or like you said, their Etsy page, and they're like, oh, I've done this, I graduated from this, or I, have done me. I think you're right. Like someone who's reading that, I'm thinking right now, like, oh, how does that relate to me? Like we want them to draw us in so that their story is also our story, like how they can help us and what they're on a mission to do. So I love that. That is fantastic advice.
If you're reading an About Me page, you should see the word you on there a few times, not just me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go revisit my About Me page now. Nobody look at it because now I need to go edit it before this thing airs. Well, maybe now it'll be better by the time this thing airs. But yeah, no, that's a good like audit, right? Like a self audit of your About Me page. And I think everyone too, like anyone listening, if you are starting a website, like one of the first pages besides your homepage you need to have up is About Me, because you would be shocked to know the stats on how many people check out your About Me page as much or more than other pages.
Yes, because if you're giving somebody some money, you're buying something from them, you want to know, who is this person? Why are they worthy of my purchase or whatever service?
Right. What are they about?
I mean, I know that when I go to a website, especially for service providers, the first place I go is the About Me page to find out what are they about?
Right. Who are they? Yeah.
And how are they going to help me?
Yeah, exactly. And can you relate to them? You're looking for some common ground somehow, I think, too. So awesome. Okay. So About Me page, did everyone hear that? You need to look at it. It needs to have the word you more than it needs to have the word I in it. And I'm going to check mine today. Okay. So that's step one.
Yep. Okay. Tip number 2 is when you're writing any kind of copy or content or whatever you want to call it, you need to infuse your personality into it, whether it's in an email or a web copy or a social media post. You need to let you come out. So you need to write how you speak. So a lot of us, I think when we sit down to write, especially for our business, we think, okay, what did I learn in 10th grade English? What's the proper way to do this? And any kind of business content now is much more conversational and impersonal.
Yes.
So you can write how you speak. If you don't ever use contractions in your writing, well, do you ever use contractions? Do you always say, I do not like that? Or do you say, I don't like that?
Sounds like what is that? The Cat in the Hat or something? I do not green eggs and ham.
Very formal.
Yes, I do not like that.
Yes.
Or whatever it is. I don't even know what.
I do not like green eggs and ham. Yes. So if you are a person that uses a lot of slang when you speak, then use it in your writing.
Okay.
If you're sarcastic or kind of sassy, let your, sense of humor come out. If you're more encouraging, then affirm in your writing. If you're really upbeat, okay, don't go crazy with the exclamation points, but use some exclamation points.
Are you talking to me on that one, by the way? I use them all the time. Okay, I'm
No,
getting
great.
schooled here today.
No, but I'm just saying, be enthusiastic. Yes, that's how you are. And so the sunshine of your personality should come through in your writing. If you're more like self-depreciating, where you kind of make fun of yourself more, let that come through your writing a little bit. Like, oh man, I can't believe this dumb thing I did. Let me tell you about it and the mistake that I made that led me to this revelation or whatever. If you're more buttoned up or academic, then write like that. If you don't let your personality come through in your writing, you're going to sound generic and you're not going to connect. And just like there's no one way to run your business, there's no one way to write about your business. So just make it authentic.
I love that. I feel like you're giving us a lot of freedom. This feels good, right?
Yes.
That we can just be ourselves in our writing. I love that.
Yes. It is not, no one's grading this paper. Like there's no teacher saying, you shouldn't write like that. Yes, you can. It's your business. You can do what you want.
Yeah. So you can just do short sentences and just whatever. Yeah. They're not even a full sentence. Like, just do it anyways.
Yep.
Yep.
The other bonus or plus side of using your personality and fusing it into your copy is that it makes your whole brand voice cohesive. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to be super formal when I write this email that I send out to my list, but I'm going to be really fun and playful on social media, my social media posts. Why can't you be the same person through all of your writing? You can.
Yeah. And I guess you should too. It's consistent branding, right? Because it's part of your brand. How you write is who you are, and who you are is your brand, and the whole thing.
And it just comes across as way more authentic.
Right. Yes. That's a great point. Okay. Well, I like that. I mean, I've started to do that more as like I've been writing my emails. Anyone who's been on my email list a long time. In the beginning, I didn't send emails because I was scared. I didn't know do I really send them each week with the podcast episodes? Do I do that? And yes, I got into a rhythm, and now I do that. I just kind of like skip a line with every sentence, and I just make short sentences. And I just, I've felt myself develop as a writer. And I think that's what's cool too for all of you listening, is that you will develop too, and you will start coming into your own, right? You will
just
start
like with anything else. More practice makes you better.
Yeah. So I love this. And I love the freedom that we don't have to have rules around it. We can write the way we would talk in the, way that we would normally say things to people. So that's awesome. I love that.
Okay. Tip number 3 is cutting down on mistakes and typos. You don't have to have perfect grammar. Like I said, no one's grading this. If there's a dangling participle, I don't even remember what a dangling participle is. But if there was
That's another language to me.
Yeah, who cares? Just write like you speak. But your message should be easy to follow. It should be make sense. I used to have a coworker. She'd come to me to tell me something, and she was hopping and bopping all over the place. And I was like, she'd walk away, and I'd think, I have no idea what she just told me, because I could not follow her train of thought. So make sure the train of thought, make sure your tracks are straight and the train is on the track. Okay?
Yes.
So you want your message to be easy to follow, and you want it to be error free, which we all make mistakes, but it is not the end of the world if you misspell something or forget some, punctuation or whatever. But a way to cut that down this is my sub tip A and sub tip B is read it out loud before you hit send or post or publish or whatever. So our eyes work faster than our fingers. So we know what we want to say, and we think we have that down on the screen, but we may have missed a word or two, or kind of messed up the sentence because we knew what we meant, but that's not what we typed. So if you read it back, 1, it makes you slow down as you're reading.
Right.
And then 2, your eyes will pick that up as your mouth says it.
Right. Okay.
So it's always good to read something out loud first before sending it out into the universe.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's good.
And then my second tip of this third tip is let it rest. It's always good, if you can, to write something, walk away, and come back to it to read it again.
Yes.
Sometimes you don't have time to do that, and that's fine. But for me personally, anytime I send anything to a client, I do not send it the day that I write it, my first draft or whatever. I write it, I sleep on it, I come back to it the next day and reread it. And then sometimes I think, oh, that doesn't sound very good. Oh, I can fix this. Oh, this makes much more sense if I do this or whatever. So it doesn't have to be overnight. Take a brain break. That's what they call it at my daughter's school. Just step away for an hour or two and then come back and reread it. And you're going to find, oh yeah, there's a mistake. Oh, whoops, I missed that too. So that'll help too.
I think that's a good tip. That's a good tip in life. Like when we tell kids, think before you speak. Or don't say, give yourself, like if you have to have a hard conversation with someone, it's probably good to kind of figure it out first before and sleep on it or think about how you're going to say it. And then the next day, go ahead. Okay. Now you come with fresh eyes and you can look at it again. But I find that like if I write something the next day, I look at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, I need to fix this sentence. How did I not see this yesterday? You just get stuck in that zone.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. And your brain's just going faster than your fingers. So you know what you mean to say. It just might not be on the screen that way.
Yeah, that's a good thing definitely to remember. Well, I love this. So our About Me page, we need to make sure it's about them and not just us, right? We also need to infuse our personality in all of our copywriting, whether it be an email, website, social, whatever. Don't feel like you have to be like you're in English class in high school or college, right? You can just be yourself. And then cut down on mistakes and typos. Make sure you're checking that. What do you think? I know you said it about flowing really well, so we understand, but like for cutting down on all those mistakes and typos, I know like, the next day looking at it and making sure, but are there any tools that you recommend that we could use, or we just make sure we have the autocorrect on, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Grammarly is a really good tool, and it is something that you can download the app right to your laptop.
Okay.
So it'll Grammarly everything you type,
Right.
whatever you type on your screen. It's not perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect mistake catcher because it's all AI, right? Artificial intelligence, and it's helpful, but it's not ironclad. Like one thing I don't like about Grammarly is it wants you to hyphenate everything. Like two words that usually you would have nothing in between there. They want you to throw a hyphen in there, and you don't have to if you don't want to, but there are things that it's not quite right, but it will help you. It will tell you if, oh, you wrote the word the twice, the same word showed up 2 times in a row, or did you mean came to be instead of came be? You missed the to in the came to be, phrase or whatever.
Right.
So Grammarly is a good one. That's probably what most people would use. There's other ones, but they're more for writers, and a lot of them you pay for them. But Grammarly is a good free one.
But Grammarly's good. Well, that's awesome. Okay. Well, those are amazing tips. And I'm sure everyone's curious to know too, how did you become a copywriter? Well, I would love to hear the story behind this and how you got your business name, because I need to know how you got your business name. Okay.
I've always liked to write. I was the kid in elementary that I would write creative writing stories. I'd write little short stories and I would read them out loud on the bus, and all the kids would be like gathered around me as I was reading these stories.
So cute. I love that.
I just love to make up stories. And my first job was when I was in high school. I covered the girls' basketball games for our local newspaper. So I'd go to the games, write notes, write up the article, send it into the newspaper. And so when I went to college, I went into journalism and started in journalism. And then after a year or two, decided that I didn't like going out and getting the story. I like to make up the story. So then I switched schools and switched my major to creative writing. And so I have a Bachelor of Arts in English.
Wow.
Yes. And so a lot of people say, oh, when I graduated, well, what's next? Are you going to teach? And I would say, no, that's an education degree. I have an English degree.
Yeah.
And so I got a job right out of college as a proofreader. And then I was a technical writer for a while, but that was mostly like proofreading things. I wasn't actually writing anything. It was kind of it was project management and proofreading, but I was called a technical writer. And then I got married later in life. I was 37 when I got married. So I did all my career in my 20s and my 30s.
Yeah.
And worked in corporate America doing different jobs. And I was a working mom. We had 2 kids, and I was still working outside of the home. And my husband traveled for his job, and he was gone, 180 to 200 days a year. So there was a lot of a lot of solo parenting going on. And when our son was born and he was a few months old, I was just like, I can't keep doing this.
Right.
So we took a huge leap of faith and I became a stay-at-home mom. At age 43, I landed my dream job.
Yes. Okay. That is so sweet. That is wonderful. I love to hear this.
Yeah. So I was home for a little bit and then someone had told me about being a virtual assistant. And I was like, what is that? I have no idea. And so I started looking into like this, like business that you could just start and be online. And I thought, well, I don't really want to be a virtual assistant. I'd rather write. And then I found out you could be a freelance copywriter and ding, ding, ding. That's me. I want to do that.
Yes. Yes.
So I hung up my shingle and here we are.
Oh my gosh. So what'd you do? I would love for others to hear, like, what was your process? You're like, okay, I can be a freelance copywriter. This is exactly what I want to do. I'm passionate about it. I'm skilled. This is my expertise. This is my wheelhouse. Okay. So what do you start doing so others can learn from you?
So I just let everybody that I know, hey, I'm starting a business. And
Okay.
I just put it out there on my Facebook page and it was real grassroots marketing. I did not start out with a website. I started working on a portfolio and I just started reaching out to people I knew that owned businesses and said, hey, do you need any writing for your business? And got my first client that way. She was my college roommate.
Amazing.
And she owns a physical therapy practice and I still write for her all these years later. So
That is awesome. See, people, that's what you have to do. I mean, don't freak out in the beginning. Like, I want to start a business. So that means I need to get a website up. I need to do this. No, you need to tell everybody, just like Melissa did. She told everyone, she just said it. Grassroots marketing is so important and you should be sharing it on your Facebook. Even if you're an introvert, you're not somebody who's super going to go out there and tell the world. There are ways that you can do it in a way that's comfortable, which is email, which is posting it on Facebook. So I love that you did that. So you get your old roommate, and you still have her as a client. So you start kind of working through, you start listening maybe to podcasts and that's how you found me. Okay. And do you do audiobooks? Do you read books? Is there anything else that you did?
I've read a couple books on writing and writing for businesses. And I've taken a couple courses, online courses by other women who have been where I have been.
Yes.
And now they're teaching people how to get what you want. So I took some courses. I joined a couple memberships like Grow Getters and another one and learned from people in there. And you just start. She's just getting started. Well, the important part is starting. Let people know. And you don't have to have everything figured out. I didn't even know what I wanted to specifically write. Like I didn't have a niche. I just wanted to help people who help people. And that's still kind of my thing. I help people who help people. And so I have done podcast note writing. I've done YouTube video description writing. I've done web copy. I love writing about me pages. That's like my wheelhouse. I love that. That's like my favorite thing to write.
That's awesome.
I've written social media posts, things like that, blog posts, press releases, all sorts of stuff to just figure out what do I really want to become a real good expert in, because I don't know. You don't know till you try it. Just try it.
Till you do all those things and you know that you do love About Me pages, but I'm sure there's other pieces that you enjoy too. Well, that is awesome. So I think we're all curious. How did you get your business name, Bets and Ben Creative? We are dying to hear the story on this.
Well, when I decided that, I was going to start my business, my kids were 3 and a few months old, and their names are Betsy and Bennett. And so I thought, okay, I am doing this for them because I want to kind of build a legacy for them. I want to be home with them. I don't want to go back to an office. That was just not the right fit for me. So I want to have a business that I can do from home and work when I want to work and work with who I want to work with and be the boss. I'm doing this for my kids. So I'm naming my business after them.
I love it.
Bets and Ben are my kids.
That's so great. So you got the domain name Bets and Ben Creative, and that's where your beautiful website is. And then you're also on LinkedIn and Facebook, right? You have a business Facebook page under Bets and Ben Creative. And a lot of you who are in my Women Starting Businesses Facebook group, you'll see Melissa popping in there and You'll see me recommending her too if anyone's ever needing a copywriter, because she's very talented and such a sweet and kind person, and really can help women in the early stages of their business get all this going. But I think it's so fun, so that if you see Melissa, you'll have to say hi in there, because she's active and she's been a fantastic grow getter. And it's been awesome having you in the Just Start program and watching you progress. It's been crazy. Like, I feel like you've like really come into your own, and totally pun intended into your own there. But you just really have, because from the beginning I've just watched you evolve, and it's just been so fun, and you've put your heart and soul into this. But what I love is that you haven't overly complicated this whole thing. Like you said, you started out without a website and you just did grassroots marketing. I think this is so good for people to hear. And then you were willing to pay for help, which I know not everyone has the luxury of doing, but it can make a difference. It can speed things up. And that's what happened to Melissa. Like, over the months, it's just like the first month she got in the program was her biggest month yet. And no, she wasn't making $1 million, but it was just more than where she was before, to help develop her confidence and just the steps of what to do. And it's just so fun, because I get to watch you and everything's just rolling along. And now I get to share you with everyone. And now they know who you are when you post in the group. And gosh, you gave us a lot of great tips and information today. Thank you so much for doing this.
You can get some more. If you go to my website, I now have an opt-in, thanks to
Ooh.
Kimberly's teachings.
Yay, I'm clapping. I don't know if you
readings.
can hear it. I'm clapping. You're getting it going. I know you said this was hard for you because you're not real techie.
Yep, but my opt-in is up. So when you go to my website right away, it'll say, here are some, I have 4 PDF you'll get of 4 tips of tips for your About Me page. Because like I said, that's my favorite thing to write. That's where I love to help people. And so you get a PDF, and then off you go, and you get some more ideas from that.
Oh my gosh, I love this. So I'm going to post that below. I'm going to post the link to your free download, so y'all will have to get that. And Melissa has such a cute writing style too. Like, and cute, I don't know if you like that word or not, but to me, it was like, I just love the way you write. It feels super personal, and it just feels like I'm talking to you. And so it'll be interesting for y'all when you subscribe and you get her download, you'll get to see her style and kind of see that, yes, just like she gave the tip earlier, you get to use your own style when you speak in email with words in email. So I just love it. Well, that is amazing that all the listeners can get that. And as I said, it's Bets and Ben Creative. You can follow her on LinkedIn or on Facebook, and you just may see her in the Women Starting Businesses group. And so I'm just so honored to have you on today, Melissa. You are so amazing. And this has been so much fun. I think everyone's learned a lot from you today.
It's been fun. Yes, I hope so. That's my whole mission. I just want to help people. So that's what it's all about.
Yep. Well, you did it today successfully. Well, I'm so happy you are here, Melissa, and the future is bright. Yes, I have to say this. You are just getting started, and I'm just so excited and honored to be a part of your journey. So that is it. Thank you so much. And remember, all of you listening, to click the links down below and grab the goodies so you can work on your About Me page, whether you have an Etsy store or your own website. Super valuable. So that's it. Well, thank you, Melissa.
Thank you. Thanks for having me today.
Okay, how much fun was that episode? It was awesome. I loved having you on, Melissa. Thank you so much. And I just want to say this to any of you that are listening right now, and you are in those early stages of starting your business, and you would love a place to call home. You heard that Melissa is a grow getter. She was part of my Just Start program, and then that evolved into this Grow Getters program. And it's been just amazing to watch her growth and all my other members' growth too. It's been awesome. And so I want to invite you today, if you don't have a place to call home, like a trustworthy, safe place that you can talk about your business, talk about your struggles, ponder what other programs and specialty things you need to be doing, who you need to be hiring in your business. Like, do you have a home base, a home somewhere you can learn, but also gain confidence and grow over the next weeks, months, and years? Once you get in Grow Getters, you're a Grow Getter for life. As long as this program is available, you are in, so you don't have to stress about timing or anything like that. I just wanted to remind any of you today that this program is available to you. It was made for you. It was a program I wish I had when I was building my businesses years ago. So make sure you scroll down below, get the link, register your interest in Grow Getters if the doors are not open at this time. I periodically open them, and every now and then I'll do private opens where it won't be a public open, like a big thing where everyone knows. I'll just send out an email to those people that are registered there, who have registered their interest, and I'll say, hey, it's going to open next week for 3 days, and you can jump on in if you want. So anyways, make sure you do that, as I would love to get to know you and help you build your business dream. Okay, until next time, bye now.
Now, this episode may be over, but our relationship does not have to end here. Head on over to KimberlyBrock.com, and yes, you can get more valuable information for your journey. And you know what? You don't need to go through this alone. I would love to help you. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye.